Where I see these fad diets massively go wrong is because they don't include this very important part of everyone's life. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you why all fad diets fail at some point. We're also going to discuss the specific reason why that is, and what is one simple question you should ask yourself if you're going to attempt any one of these diets. Which I don't think you should, by the way, because they're all shit. I'm also going to reveal to you why this simple question is so important. I'll offer advice on how to stop failing on these diets that go beyond don't follow the shit diet. And at the end of this video, I'll recommend what you should maybe attempt instead. So let's get into it. Before we carry on, you must have a burning question in your head that is, what is actually a fad diet, James? So according to Google, a fad diet is a short-term eating plan that claims to promote rapid weight loss or improved health, but is not supported by scientific evidence. Characteristics of a fad diet is often promise quick results, promote magic foods or combinations of foods, restrict food groups or nutrients such as carbohydrates, have rigid rules that focus on weight loss, makes claims based on a single survey or testimonials only, lack physical activity guidelines, focus on short-term changes rather than sustainable goals. Some examples of a fad diet is cabbage soup diet, fucking hell, and a keto diet. Cannot see a fucking thing with these. They're not mine, by the way. AI has absolutely nailed that, haven't they? They are definitely taking over. Anyway, it's funny when I say these things out loud, or read them out loud, I've mentioned nothing positive there. It sounds like a shocking time, but people still follow them. There's a lot of words used for a fad diet such as short-term, life-changing, quick fixes, best, fucking cancer curing. Basically all these words that you want to avoid when it comes to creating something that should be viewed as long-term. FYI, there is no diet that cures cancer. There's only a very few small of absolutes in diets that actually ring true or agreed upon by all the incredible nutritionists, coaches and scientists, etc. that work with food and diets, such as the use of protein and including fruit and vegetables. There's no many diets that don't include day 3, or there shouldn't be anyway. But these fad diets usually butcher studies to make out that they're the best diets ever and all other ones are absolute shit. It's basically the same as going on Tinder and coming across a bio that says blonde hair, former model, no daddy issues, loves football, big tits, rich, high sex drives, gives blowjobs daily, not emotionally unstable. If that kind of person pops up in your Tinder, what are you thinking? You would run a fucking mile, wouldn't you? Unless you're an idiot. Following a diet and being let down is like going out with that amazing sounding blonde with big tits on that Tinder date and finding out she has a big cock with a big set of balls and a moustache to go with it. Unless you're into that kind of thing. And that's what these fuckers who push fad diets do. They promise you the world, but usually let you down. Paul Saladino is a great example of a person who made millions of preaching about how you should follow a carnivore diet, but now he's changed his tune because it's given him health problems. I'm certain he wrote a book about why you should follow a carnivore diet whilst experiencing these health issues and changing his diet to include fruits. And who would have thought a diet that consists mostly of fruit and meat improving health? He's also an absolute whopper who says you shouldn't use your fingers to pick up the receipt that you get when you go shopping because there's toxins in that paper. Do I need to say any more? So now you must be thinking, why do all these fad diets fail? After all the whoppers online push them on you. It's the same kind of people who try and sell you big issue magazines. I've followed many diets in the past, more so to gain muscle rather than lose weight, if you couldn't tell. And I remember one of them being the carb backloading diet. This is where I could only eat between the hours of 2 PM and 8 PM I think it was. And that first meal had to be high protein and low fat, and it had to be at 2 PM. So I would look like a dickhead at lunchtime in my office, eating by myself at 2 PM when everyone else was having their lunch at 12 noon. And then between the hours of 6 PM and 8 PM I could eat whatever I wanted. Sounds amazing, but I've no idea why I did that specific diet. I think I was assuming it would give me absolutely massive. Does it look like it worked? I look back now using hindsight and a bit of experience and think what a fucking idiot I was. Saying things out loud like having to eat between the hours of 2 PM and 8 PM just goes to show how fucking stupid it sounds. But if you have someone with an ounce of charisma, maybe a pair of glasses and a lab coat, steroids as well, six pack, any gullible listener will then think, well, he must know what he's talking about. And many of you out there do the same, but you just don't realise how much you're getting taken a ride for from the likes of these ball bags. The only way these bizarre methods of diets would have worked for me was because I was single and had fuck all else better to do other than play the Xbox and go to the gym. So James, what is the one simple question that's going to change my life? Many of you out there have never asked themselves this question when it comes to choosing a diet. Despite how shite many of the choices of diets are out there, you should be viewing them with a giant pros and cons list and choosing one that suits you and your lifestyle, but choose a diet that fits around your lifestyle and hectic family life, rather than the other way around. Because that is ultimately what is most important. Even more important than the diet itself, I would argue. Where I see these fad diets massively go wrong is because they don't include this very important part of everyone's life. And that very important part is their social life. So ask yourself this question next time you're trying to choose a diet. Can I fit this diet around my social life? A couple of bonus questions here also are, would I be embarrassed eating these kinds of foods in public in front of my kids? And does travelling make my diet awkward and give me stress? I know I said I'd give you one, but try to help you out, you know. So if any of the above 3 questions are no, get that diet to fuck. For example, travelling in the back of the car with pre-cooked burgers and boiled eggs in a Tupperware and bringing 3 days worth of that shit with you is fucking awkward and embarrassing. But some people do this. If you think you can choose a diet and then fit your family and social life around it, you're a fucking idiot. And this is what most diets subconsciously ask you to do. These diets have you believe that you have to give up everything for them. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet, it's a rite of passage. All that sort of shit. Some of them go one better and say things along the lines of, if you don't follow this diet to the letter and to the extreme level some people manage to pull off, then it's your fault it failed. When really, the diet actually failed you. We're all different people with different levels of desires, patience, willpower, effort, tolerances, temptations. Just different people with different lives. So no wonder we all want to follow different diets at different times in our lives. These fad diet followers push the diet on you and preach it as if you have to follow their diet and no one else's. That's like saying you have to stick with the same car for the rest of your life. You massively underestimate that your taste, your wants and your needs change quite regularly when it comes to food. I knew a fucking bodybuilder once who put cauliflower in their cereal to bulk it out. Do you think that's going to be a long-term dish on our menu? I hope for the sake of humanity, it is not. Because that is even worse than people who put milk in their pork scratchings and say it's cereal. As if we don't already have enough cults to deal with and choose from. We now have them for diets. Vegans will walk away from a conversation with you if they find out you eat meat because of the audacity, even though their method of eating likely causes more pollution and kills more animals. So carnivore dieters as well, they'll turn their nose up at you if you don't try their most nutritious breakfast ever, which is just mince. Imagine fucking mince for breakfast. It won't be long until they're eating raw dog food because there's all the ingredients that we need for health, doesn't it? It has bone, meat, offal, kidneys, heart. So what's the harm? So if you think about this more practically, could you imagine a dad with a family of 4, let's just call him Billy, trying to carry out a paleo diet with his high stress job and hectic family life? Billy has to wrestle his kids to bed every night after a stressful and tiresome day to then only eat food our ancestors ate. Fuck that. Or even a carnivore diet. Billy wakes up with his kids want cereal, brilliant, but then he has to stand there and cook some plain chicken. How depressing. He's not even allowed any sauce with that. Or at night the kids are having a pizza at dinner and Billy has to have his high fat beef mince. Boring. Or it's the kid's birthday and the kid comes across with his little puffy eyes. Daddy, do you want some of my bluey cake? And then he replies, did our ancestors eat that? And then the kid replies, what? And then Billy says, I'm paleo mate, I can't eat that. And then the kid replies, oh my god, my worst nightmare has come true. My dad is a fucking loser. And then runs away and cries in the corner on his birthday. But of all the potential issues that fad diets have, I think the biggest one is none of them have ever asked the question about the social side of the potential dieter's life. They're usually just flung a bit of paper and said, bash on mate. But they're never asked, what does your day look like? When do you get up? What do you do on the weekend? Do you eat with your kids? Do you travel much? Basically they're not asking what you do with your massively flexible life. Because it's very rare that people have the exact same day every day. Something always changes. Also a big one is, are you going to be embarrassed eating this in public? Because most of you out there are. You're just not happy to admit it. There's actually zero issues with following these individual diets if you can stick to them. But they're not the perfect diet that they are made out to be, especially when there's fear-mongering and shame associated with not carrying it out when life gets hard. Like I said before, it's likely the diet's fault rather than yours. So why is my social life so important when it comes to these diets? I can hear you ask James. Thinking of following a new diet, you should be thinking of things like, is this going to affect my social life or is it going to affect my family life? Is it going to cause stress when travelling? Can you eat on the go with this diet? Am I going to be embarrassed when I'm eating in front of others? Can you go away for a weekend and still stick to your goals? Can I eat like this in front of my kid? Or not feel guilty going off plan? The word stress and diet tend not to work well together. There's always going to be some trade-offs and some negatives with each diet because something has to change. But if the majority of these questions are negative, it's likely not a diet for you. So do expect some strain when it comes to some of these issues above. They won't all be positives. And you're an idiot for thinking that. But if you're eating your carnivore meatballs in the corner of the office away from everyone because you're embarrassed, you need to fucking sort yourself out. You have to bear in mind as well, there are some absolute hermits that will happily rock up to work with 8 boiled eggs and a plastic bag and say, this is what I'm having for lunch. But we're trying to stay away from the people. Those people cannot be saved. Life should be enjoyed and food should be at the front of that in my opinion. It is literally everywhere for every occasion. And if you're torturing yourself, sweating and stressing about how you're going to heat up your homemade meatballs whilst drinking out with the lads, you need to find another diet that doesn't make you out to be an absolute fucking idiot. So now you're going to be asking, James, is there a diet that doesn't make me embarrassed with what I eat? That allows me to enjoy social occasions? That doesn't make me feel guilty if I go off plan? That lets me enjoy normal food with my family where I don't look like an absolute tool in front of my kid? That maybe allows me a little bit of chocolate if and when I feel the need to? Well, there is, my friend, because I did say at the beginning of this video that all fad diets are shit, in my opinion. But there is one you potentially haven't considered. And all you have to do is click on this link and it'll give you all the information. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.